Greetings, world. Greetings. Tim Ryan here. Tuesday at 2, almost 2. Rambling with Ryan. Before I even start rambling, I just want to do two things. First, I want to do a shout out to my friend Rudy Pollock, who you can see my hand-in-hand benefit for hurricane relief t-shirt. Rudy does a lot of work for Treasured Memories. He's one of our super artists. And when I went to pay him for a recent job, he said, you know what, just donate it to the hurricane relief. And I thought that was like, what a blessing. What a blessing. And we did. We did. And I just sent Rudy his shirt, and I got my shirt, and that's how we donated money. So anyway, just shout out to my buddy Rudy for making, an invoice that he had a donation to hurricane relief. Okay, so the topic today is announcing. Right, so would you? I don't know what it is. Somebody that for some reason everybody hates Joe Buck. They just hate Joe Buck, and I think he's all right. I don't know. He doesn't bother me, but it got me really thinking about a few things. You know, why do you hate an announcer? What is it about an announcer that would make you hate him? But before I even go there, you know what? Dodgers or Astros? Which is it? Now, I will admit I am fully conflicted. The Mets have played the Dodgers many times, and they've been our rival many times. But they are from Brooklyn, deep down, even though they've been in LA longer than they were in Brooklyn. They're in my heart. They're a New York team. They were Dad's team, Brooklyn Dodgers. But I have a lot of friends in Houston too, right? So, and they've never won ever. So I'm kind of got rooting for. The Astros and the Dodgers, I don't know. All right, but now, Joe Buck. Why does everybody hate him as an announcer? I started to think about this. Like I remember being a kid, and Howard Cosell was an announcer that people complained about all the time. But why did people hate Howard Cosell? Well, what was it about Howard Cosell that people just did not like? I don't know. But when I started to think about it, the Mets fans, I'm a Met fan, right? We Met fans complained about Joe Buck when he announced the World Series in 2015, and we lost. We lost to the Kansas City Royals. Did we hate Joe Buck because he announced us losing? Did the Yankee fans who just lost to the Astros, did they hate Joe Buck because they lost? Would the Yankee fans hate Joe Buck as much if they won? Would we Met fans have hated Joe Buck as much if we won? So I'm trying to find the correlation between announcing and the results, right? We don't like the results. Could that possibly be? What did he say? What did Joe Buck say that gets people so mad? Now, again, I can relate most closely to Yankee fans this year and Met fans 2 years ago. That they just hate him so much. Did he say something that offended us, or did we just not like what he was saying because we were losing? Did we hate him because we were losing? We did not like the results of what were going on. That's an interesting question. Would we have still hated him if we were winning? If we liked what was happening, would we have liked it? Would we hate him if we won? Would we be complaining about Joe Buck if we won? Now, I'll say mostly men or boys will know what I'm about to say. They'll understand what I'm talking about here. When we were kids and we played sports, we announced our own games, right? So it was our imagination, but we would announce our own games. It was very common for me to stand in front of a pitchback. Now, I don't know how many of you can really know what a pitchback is. If you remember what a pitchback is, basically it was a giant, I'll call it a upright trampoline that you'd throw a baseball at, and it had a strike zone. And you'd pitch it to the strike zone, and it would just pitch back to you. So you could just keep throwing it over and over and over again. And man, I could sit in front of a pitchback for hours a day. You'd also put it, if you were actually playing wiffle ball or something, the batter would stand in front of the pitchback so that you didn't need a catcher. The ball would come back every time. But here's what I'm saying. How many times as a kid did I stand in front of that pitchback and say, it's 3-2 in the bottom of the ninth inning. It's Game 7 of the World Series. The bases are loaded, and Tim Ryan is pitching. It's 3-2, and here he goes with the payoff pitch. And I'd throw that ball. And if it was a ball, that would have been ball 4, and we lose. What did I do? I just re-announced it. That didn't happen. It was like a do-over. Because I'm announcing. I'm deciding what's happening. And I would throw again and again and announce again and again until it was a strike. Until I could say, strike 3, the Mets win. Tim Ryan is the hero pitcher. Until I could announce the results I wanted, I kept doing it over and over and over again. Now, we Met fans or Yankee fans might not like Joe Buck because he doesn't have that opportunity. If the Yankee strikes out, he struck out. And Yankee fans are pissed. Maybe they're pissed at Joe Buck now. Met fans are pissed because, because we struck out or we walked or whatever it might be. It's just the way it is. So what am I saying? So when you announce your own game, right? It's a game in your mind. When you're the announcer in your own mind, what do? You re-announce it, and you keep doing it until you get the result you wanted, right? When I threw a ball and I needed it to be strike 3 so that the Mets could win and Tim Ryan could be the hero pitcher, I kept throwing that ball until I threw a strike. And when I threw that strike and I won, I was the hero, and I just kept doing it. Now, okay, so I started thinking about this when this all started to stir up in my mind. I started to reflect to my 2 sons, right? I have 2 boys and a girl. But when my boys were young, and I'm saying, early teens, mid-teens, like every other boy, they did the same thing, whether it's playing football or baseball or whatever it was. But my son Steven in particular would announce everything. Every game that he played or we played or he played with his brother Nick, like he just announced everything. It was so entertaining. But what I found interesting is that even though he and Nick, because they were playing against each other, or even though that in reality they were opponents, Steven would announce him in a positive way. He would announce Nick's at bat or Nick's receiving the football or whatever it was in a positive way. Now, I am positive, sure, that Steven wasn't consciously doing that or wasn't doing it because he knew some result would occur. But Nick would keep playing no matter what the results were because Steven was announcing it in a positive way. Now, I'm only reflecting on that, decades later, but thinking about how encouraged Nick, his younger brother, was because Steven was announcing him in a positive way. Nick would keep going and keep trying. Whether he was losing or not, he'd keep going. Now, I'm not saying they got along. All boys, we do not get along with our brothers. It's just the way it is when we're young. But the positive reinforcement of that announcing kept Nick going. He was always interested. Now, okay, so I already said this, right? So if you don't like the results of what the announcer is saying, when you're announcing your own game, you just keep going. You just do it again and do it again and do it again and keep announcing it out loud until you got it right. Okay, one of the other differences was when I used that pitch back and there was somebody at bat, right? So now I'm pitching and I'm announcing out loud. It's 3-2, 2 outs, bottom of the ninth, bases are loaded, and I'm pitching. So let's just say it was my childhood friend Bill Menting was at bat, right? So Bill Menting's at bat. Tim Ryan's got, and in my head I'm announcing that I got to strike him out. The difference was now it's real. I can't announce what's fake. So if I did not throw a strike, I would not strike Bill Menting out. Now that's reality. That's Joe Buck. Joe Buck has to announce what actually happens, right? No matter what we think of Joe Buck, he has to announce what actually happens. When Tim Ryan was announcing it, just him throwing the ball against the pitchback, I could play it over and over and over and over again. But in reality, now Bill Menting's at bat. If Bill hits a home run, he wins. You follow where I'm going with this? So why do we hate Joe Buck? Just because We don't like the results that he announced. We Met fans were not happy in 2015. But why'd we take it on Joe Buck? Yankee fans are not happy this year with Joe Buck. Are they unhappy with Joe Buck because they lost or because Joe Buck sucks? I don't think so. All right. What I'm trying to say here in this Rambling with Ryan is that I'm encouraging everybody to announce your own life. And really, you should do it out loud. Announce your own life, no matter what it is. If you want something to occur, you want something to happen. Now, at my childhood, I wanted that third strike in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs, Game 7 of the World Series. And if I did not throw that strike, I announced it over and over and over until I got it right. That is what I'm encouraging you to do. Whatever happens in our life, it's not always going to go right. But if you know what you want to have happen, if you know how you want to announce your life, keep doing it and announce it out loud. You know, one of the things that I find so fascinating, and I'm gonna this is not the point, but it's a good example. You know, we live, Leanne and I now live in a very, very health conscious world, right? Which we did not do for the bulk of our lives. We were not health conscious, not even a little bit, but now we are. And one of the things that our coaches and the people that we've learned from have said, you have to proclaim what you're doing. You have to get an accountability partner. You have got to tell people what you expect to do. Because if you don't tell people, if you just keep it to yourself, it's too easy to quit. Because nobody knows. You're not accountable to anybody. You're not accountable to anybody. So that kind of ties into announcing. So when I say, announce your life, whatever it is that you expect to have happen, whatever you want to have happen, you have got to tell people. You've got to announce it. Otherwise, who are you accountable to? Who are you going to turn to? If you keep it all a secret, and then it's too easy to back out of everything you do in your life, you'll just keep backing out because you're not responsible to anybody. You're not accountable to anybody. So announce it. Announce it. I didn't know that when we started our health journey. We were, hey, Ryan, what's up? Ryan Dukas, Kevin. Hey, Kevin, my brother Kevin's on here. When you decide to do something, don't keep it a secret because then it's too easy to not do it. It's just too easy. Announce it. And now, I'm not saying that you have to get Joe Buck to announce your life, but announce your life and keep announcing it until you get the results that you want. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Announce your own life and do it in the most positive way. And don't keep it a secret. Don't keep it a secret. Proclaim it. Listen, I'm wishing you all a happy, healthy, wealthy mind, body, and spirit. That's the Transfiguration Project wording. Healthy, wealthy mind, body, and spirit. And announce your life. Next week, Tuesday at 2, here is my topic. What color is cancer? What color is cancer? Yes, that is a puzzle to be figured out. I'll give you another little hint, what religion is death? Tuesday at 2, Rambling with Ryan. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you all. Hey, listen, one other thing. If you're watching live, click a 1. If you're watching later, click a 2. Give me a shout out. Bye, guys. Thanks.